Air traffic control, bring in New York. Roger that. Bring in Canada. 10-4. Gentlemen, we have liftoff.
This is radio. Radio.
Back again for number 10. Join Big B, DK, and Mike Jolitz for all the hot topics, weird news, and shenanigans. It's Cave Crew Radio, Season 10, at cavecrewradio.com.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm DK. Wee bit of the sniffles and a scratchy voice, so forgive me. I'll make it last as long as I can. And Big B is with me.
Hi there.
Hot off the heels of show 400.
That's right.
A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
And if it sounds, I don't know if you can hear, but it sounds like a herd of elephants is above me. That's my younger son running back and forth.
I don't see your mic doesn't blocks the noise better than mine.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So not really an epicenter, but I told you we'd probably cover this at the pre-show instead of on the show because we have so much we got to get to. But yeah, so I'm not always allowed to set up in the basement right away.
Mm-hmm.
It was always like a forgiven thing or forgiven, whatever you would say, that Friday night's really the only night now I need the basement.
Right.
And tonight I came home and the gal, we got the gal here now, I call her. Great girl, love her.
Mm-hmm.
Really, really nice. And I couldn't come down until 7 to set up.
Aha.
But I'm here. It's mine now. And it worked out well because if you knew my kid, this is kind of weird. They are upstairs where I normally am,
Mm-hmm.
watching a movie
Okay.
and painting Christmas ornaments.
Painting Christmas ornaments.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how you spell whipped, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Well, so I have a couple of questions. One, what was going on that you were not allowed in the basement until 7 o'clock?
No idea. Don't want to know. If grandchildren come, so be it.
I have an idea. Let's just say that.
Yeah, we've all been there, right?
Right.
But I told you before what a shock it was because I'm not saying this was the first one, but it's the first one that came to my house and then seemed to instantly live here.
Aha.
And I needed to make more food. And, you just gotta, at first I felt like I was like a stranger in my own town,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's better now, and I get along with her. She's great. But it worked out well because Isbia is at her friend's house
Okay.
doing crafts.
There you go.
No
I
idea
know all
what
about
they're
that.
doing. No idea what they're doing. I'm fine with it as long as I don't have to do crafts.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you live in that world as well.
I live in that world all the time. My wife is constantly doing crafts. Although she doesn't go somewhere else to do it, she does it in the house.
Right. And my wife, though, she knows I'm not interested. Jake's not in. Well, no, maybe Jake's getting into it now. Maybe the gal will do it with her, but she has this friend who's her husband's my friend. And anyway, she's been inviting her she says, you got your show. I'm going to go do crafts with Rochelle. And I said, you go, girl.
Right.
You go. So,
Now when she's doing her crafts, does she put the show on in the background and say, hey, look, listen, that's my husband?
I'm not sure who's in chat right now. We're going to have to wait to see if it's Facebook user, or we'll be able to do our thing. I'm pretty sure she's not watching now.
Got it. Okay.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, she likes that shit. Nah, I'm not into it. my thing.
So all right. So my other question is, you said they were upstairs painting Christmas ornaments.
Yes.
We need to elaborate on this because I don't understand the painting Christmas ornaments.
Well, so the girl bought some bulbs. I gotta watch how loud I talk. The girl bought some bulbs or something and some paint kit. And so they're probably making designs on white bulbs. I haven't seen.
Okay.
I will report back.
I think a picture needs to be posted on the Facebook page.
I just think, though, if you knew my son, hockey, soccer, Xbox player, FanDuel better, electrician, construction guy.
Right.
It kind of makes me giggle.
That he's painting now?
It's the power of love, Bigby.
As Huey Lewis put it, it's the power of love.
It's the power of love. We'll see how long it lasts. We'll see. It's fun. It's funny to watch. It really is.
Because you remember going through it yourself.
I don't think I did that shit, but I don't know that Isbia made me do that. Check. London, England.
Stu, checking in. Check.
We gotta. You're on the pre-show, Stu. We got a good show ahead. But if you can stick around, if you're awake for a little while, we apologize for our voices. I have the yellow phlegm. Just a minor case.
I'm fine.
Top of the evening, he says.
Top of the evening to you, sir.
Top of the evening to you as well. You were featured on episode 400. I don't know if you were awake or listening, but we had a whole segment about Choo Choo Stu.
That's right.
And the impact that he made on the show. So listen, while we have Choo Choo Stu in chat before he nods off or wherever he's going to go, I had this idea. So another story about my kid real quick. He was showing me the Waza commercials and how it's like making this revival.
Is it? Oh God, please.
So, but wait a minute. I think I'm onto something here. And so I told him, no, this is old. This is an old Super Bowl Budweiser commercial.
Yep.
I'm thinking for Back for More in 24, you and me and Mike Jolitz and Choo Choo Stu, if he'd lend his voice, I know he hates recording now, could do a Cave Crew radio.
Oh, we could. That would be fun.
Like, hey, B, what you doing? Not much, having a brew, getting ready for the crew. And I'll answer back, true. And then like Mike Jolitz or yell in the background, what's up? And I'll go, who's that, B? He goes, it's Mikey. Hey, Mikey, get on the mic. What's up? It's the stupidest thing of all, but it's one of my favorite commercials ever.
But it could be fun though too. And then we could have Stu chime in after he fixes his technical difficulties because he always had technical difficulties.
Yeah, we'd have like a
right.
Who's that? It's Stu. Stu, what up? And then he goes, what up? Or whatever they say it in English, right? I don't know.
Oh yeah, we'd have to figure out the English version of what's up.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be fun. I like that idea.
Remember that weird language he taught us? I miss those days. All right, Stu, anyone else listening? We are going to go live. Episode 401, if you can believe it. Just got to turn on the radio, Pulse Talk, and away we go.
The show is about to start. Right, we have liftoff. In 3, 2, 1.
We are back again for number 10. Cave Crew Radio, Season 10. Let's go. CaveCrewRadio.com.
There was a time come, when the world turned their back on men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of being men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Today's broadcast of The Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gonna go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Craven, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball. It's a power goal.
This is Cave Crew Radio.
Indeed, it is Cape Crew Radio, ladies and gentlemen. My name is DK. I am live in my cave in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We are live on YouTube, cavecrewradio.com, Facebook, Pulse Talk Radio, available wherever good podcasts can be found. Now, I have a quick order of business. That's why I said that so fast, ladies and gentlemen. Before I bring in my co-host and let him start to steal the next 10 to 15 minutes of the show, which will be great for my voice. I am the things of all things male. Last week, I received the mystery drink box, which we were talking about on the pre-show, is only a couple of weeks away. But I know I have to open it before the show, but I refuse to look until like a couple days before, because anyone that knows me knows I love Christmas and I love surprises. I am also the epicenter of all things Cave Crew Radio stickers. And ladies and gentlemen, if you want one, you just have to answer one of Big B's questions or participate in chat or, you know, communicate with us in some way. We've got a lot of these really cool Cave Crew Radio stickers. Never before have we had stickers in all the years. I also received, and there's no one does Christmas cards like this lady, my Big B family Christmas card. It's posted upstairs, but I removed it just for the show. I also received my Choo Choo Stew family Christmas card. And I apologize, family, everyone. I've just never been a Christmas card guy. But every year I get these things, and it warms the cockles of my heart. So a lot of good things coming to me in the mail. I hope everyone else has the same fortune as I do. Anyway, I digress. I didn't mean to steal the show, but I was so excited about what's been happening in DK's mailbox. Shows you what my life's like, but it's good stuff, folks. Nice to know that you're liked. And those stickers, by the way, came from Mike Jolitz. So I didn't mention that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, here is
And now, he is the king of the sovereign county of Urian Stench and Stenchlandia, the commander-in-chief of the Water Gypsies, the self-proclaimed president of the United States, a university graduate, and always the epicenter of something. Ladies and gentlemen, His Royal Highness Big B.
Yes, live from Queens, New York. I am King B, king of
I think
Station.
we're going to skip the epicenter here, ladies and gentlemen. We have breaking news. I think something's coming in.
Yeah, it's coming in right now.
Okay, so we're gonna. Sometimes when you're live, ladies and gentlemen, you got to shuffle things around. It is now time for. We'll get back to the epicenter. Don't worry.
Mrs. B presents the drink of the week.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it came in right as we were starting the epicenter, but the drink of the week came in, and this week it is a Bailey's chocolate martini in a Marty the Moose glass from
Marty the Moose.
That is from Vacation. If you ever saw the movie Vacation with Chevy Chase,
yeah,
they go to the amusement park where Marty the Moose, and then if you ever watch Christmas Vacation, they drink eggnog out of these specific glasses.
Very special. This is very nostalgic.
So this is a chocolate what? A Bailey's chocolate martini, which has obviously Bailey's chocolate, vodka, creme de cacao, and that's it. So it's pure alcohol, ladies and gentlemen, and it is adorned with 3 toasted marshmallows.
This is wonderful.
If you look, see, it is toasted with the. I'm assuming you toasted this on the stove. Yes. And
I was going to ask that question. Thank you.
And it has chocolate drizzle in it. Oh, magic! It has magic shell in it, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know what magic shell is, magic shell is the chocolate syrup that hardens when you put it over ice cream.
Now, when you think of the word cacao, it is also brown. What is creme de cacao?
Creme de cacao.
Oh, cacao.
It's a chocolate like liqueur. You add it as like kind of an accent alcohol in mixed drinks. So if you're doing something that's not like this has chocolate Bailey's in it, but if you're making a chocolate flavored drink, you can use creme de cacao for your flavoring.
Just the way you said it, it sounds like it doesn't sound like cow at the end. It's like you've got this magic.
It's creme de cacao.
Creme de cacao.
It is quite good. It's chocolatey. It's like an adult chocolate milk with marshmallows that I'm not going to eat. So I'm going to give them to my wife because she likes the marshmallows.
Eat all my garnishes.
Well, you can take the garnishes, and you always ask if there's more. I have a little bit more in here.
A little bit more inside that pretty, looks like a Pokemon drink bottle.
What is this? Gudetama.
Gudetama. Okay.
This is like a thing on Netflix or some shit that the kids like.
An egg and he has no will to live.
It's an egg and he has no will to live, is what my wife just said.
We're going to need, doesn't have to be tonight because I'm sure everyone's busy and we have an agenda. I need to know about this egg that has nowhere to live.
No will to live, not nowhere to live. No will to live. It's an egg that wants to die, apparently. It's
what will would you have if you were an egg?
Well, it would turn into a chicken, right?
I guess eventually if you had the will. But is this really a program the kids should watch?
Well, it's from Japan. It is a kids program, right? Yeah, it's a kids program. And I've seen a little bit like snippets of it, and they just get into wacky things and all, it is actually a kids program, but it's from Japan. So
I don't know in today's age of mental health, if you want kids watching a program about an egg that has no will to live.
Well, it's a big hit.
Well,
because there's tons of merchandise and Yeah, everybody's watching. What is he doing up there? Jesus. He is apparently excited, running around.
He's been into the cream de cacao.
It's very possible. So yes, that is drink of the week in this wonderful glass that we had gotten last year. It's the
It's beautiful,
Marty Moose,
beautiful glass.
Marty Moose cow. It's great.
And ladies and gentlemen, you got to admit it's not just the drink every week. My wife mentioned this, and I appreciate it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's always the artwork
Mm-hmm.
and the creativity that goes into the drink.
I say this every time you bring this up. She has run. This is her segment.
Yeah.
She has run with this and really made it her own. Where it just started off as like, she's making a drink and she'll give me some and we have a drink. She has made it her own to the point where it was her idea to send out those packages that you have, Mike got, and Stu got. It was her idea for everybody to get this for Christmas.
My anticipation is it's like a child on Christmas Eve waiting for Santa to come down the chimney. I am so excited about this segment where we mix our drinks together and we all do drink of the week. And it's going to be so much Christmas fun. And I'm sure there's an option for people like Stu out there who may want a virgin version of it.
Well, yeah. So you have to open it, like I said, before the show, like a day or two before the show, because you have to go get stuff. I don't know if you have it in the house, but you may have to go purchase it.
We'll find it. We'll get it.
So Stu,
I don't know if they sell cream de cacao in Canada.
You don't need cream de cacao.
Okay.
So I sent Stu the same thing I sent you, and I sent Mike. And Stu could not make it alcoholic if he didn't want to. There's perfectly fine to not make it alcoholic, but part of there's some fun in there. So when you open it up, you'll see.
I can't wait. Some people get off on like Elf on the Shelf and shit like that, or Hallmark. Oh, story for another day, Big B.
Mm-hmm.
I was off a few days for the American Thanksgiving, and there was lots of sports, and I gave it the old good try, and I watched a Hallmark movie.
Okay.
And this Hallmark movie had a second part. Done. Okay. I tried.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to invest in her lifestyle and her choices of movies. Because I've only watched it passing by. Every time she turns it on, I'm like, fuck sakes, I'm gonna go sit on the toilet, even though I don't have to go. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'm really gonna try. And I watched the first part and it was sickening. And I said, okay, well, we'll try one more. And it was part two. And it was all about a decorating contest or something. And oh my God, it was terrible.
Well, it's a Hallmark movie. They're meant to be terrible.
She loves them.
They're not meant for you and I. They are meant they are targeted towards women because it's the love story and all of this and the heartbreak and this and that. They don't target it to me and you and Stu and Mike. They don't. We are not the target audience.
I would rate, because I've also seen, growing up with three sisters and my mom, Days of Our Lives, General Hospital. A little bit of drama. There was a little bit of storyline. And even though it was, mostly romance, there was a bad guy and a good guy or whatever. And you could kind of be hooked in. And the cool thing about those is you could skip them for 15 years and still know what's going on.
That is true.
So
that is true.
I would say soap operas above Hallmark movies any day. Now, the funny thing is my wife has never watched a soap opera.
Mm. But she
loves these movies. The storylines are so shallow. The acting is terrible.
Well, they have like 57,000 movies. Every single one of them has the exact same plot.
Yeah, and they just decorate the house different.
That's all it is. They have a couple of different actors sprinkled in. They decorate the house a little different, but overall, it's the same plot in every movie.
Right. You're the one guy's either the butler or the grandfather or the brother-in-law. Or maybe it's your turn. You're the love interest. I don't know. Like fucking stupid.
And there's always one bad guy-ish or the black sheep of the family or whatever it is that in the end learns the true meaning of family and what Christmas is all about. And they all embrace and have a family meal.
I can't get it. She's watched other shows like that I'll sit through, like what's that hospital show there? Grey's Anatomy, One Tree Hill, Gossip Girl. I can even get a slight interest in that. I can sit through it and ask questions. But these Hallmark movies, oh my God, baby. Don't ever go there.
I don't think I've ever in my life ever put on the Hallmark Channel. My wife doesn't watch it. I certainly will not watch it. The kids ain't watching it. So yeah, I think we the Facebook meme, I'm marked safe from whatever.
Yeah.
I am marked safe from watching any type of Hallmark movie.
You have not Hallmarked.
I have not Hallmarked, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when we were kids of those, what was it? Like, was it the ABC after school
special? 100%.
Same type of production, but we were kids then. Right.
Right. We were kids, and it was like about drugs and shit. If I remember correctly, it was all about either taking drugs or being kidnapped.
Yeah.
Watch for the strangers in the old beat up van. Don't talk to strangers, things like that.
I'd rather watch like the black and white version of Mothra than watch Hallmark.
That was a great. Oh, I liked all the Godzilla movies.
Those are the black and white.
Mothra, Mechagodzilla. And there was one, not new, but old with King Kong in it. Old Godzilla movies are awesome.
There's a new King Kong Godzilla coming out.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
There's also a
I always cheer for King Kong.
There's a TV show. I forget what it's called, but Apple TV has a new show, and it's all about those monsters. Like they geneticized. It's like Jurassic Park meets kind of Godzilla and whatever. I forget the name of the show, but the name of the show is the company that like geneticized all these monsters and all that. And Godzilla has to come save everybody again. And it's a series, so it's going to be awesome. Haven't watched it yet. It just came out.
Rodan, the bird.
Yeah.
Mothra, the butterfly or whatever it was. Gamera, my favorite.
Oh,
the
Gamera.
turtle.
That's right. Yeah.
Those Japanese people were onto something. And then don't forget Ultraman.
I don't know if I remember.
And Johnny Sacco and the Giant Robot.
I don't remember that.
Oh, God. I used to watch all those. They were so good.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Way before Power Rangers and all that shit. Yeah. Anyway, I didn't mean to steal the thunder for the first little bit. We might have to leave some stuff on the cutting room floor, but we've been known to do that before. I'm very curious about the epicenter of the week and possible conspiracy theory that's coming up.
So this is my epicenter. Now, I'm not a big conspiracy theory guy, right? The government's out to get you and this and that. To me, it's all nonsense. Until this week, suddenly I get a phone call from a government agency, and I'll tell you what it is after I play you the message, or in the message they tell you. So I get a call from a government agency and I see it, and it's not an 800 number. It's a direct area code from the area of the agency. I'm like, what the fuck is this? So I'm not talking to anybody. I, exit out. 10 seconds later, I get a call again from the same government agency. I said, what the fuck is going on? I am not talking to these fucking people. I X out. They leave me a voicemail. And this is the voicemail.
Okay, turn it up.
Give me 1 second here. I'm going to unplug it for a second because my battery was dying. Hold on. Okay.
Hello, I'm calling on behalf of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. We are conducting the National Immunization Survey, a nationwide survey about vaccinations for COVID and other diseases affecting adults, teens, and children. Would you please call us at 1-877-220-4805. The number again is 1-877-220-4805. Thank you.
So were you able to hear that?
So it's a vaccination survey.
It is from the Centers for Disease Control.
Okay.
Not from a call center. It is from the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, Georgia. You see the number. I don't know if you can see it, but
hang on. Let's bring you up.
So they told you to call an 800 number, but the phone number it came from is in Atlanta. You can't see it. It's kind of blurry.
Yeah.
But it's a 404 area code, which is Georgia. It's from Atlanta, Georgia. And the caller ID said CDC, Centers for Disease Control. Now, I want to know.
Call the 1-800 number to investigate.
Fuck no, I ain't calling them. But here's where the conspiracy theory comes in. Now, I'm not a conspiracy theory person, but how did the Centers for Disease Control get my phone number?
Well, I didn't even know this was happening, ladies and gentlemen. But I don't have the story in front of me. But on the news, I listen to talk radio and stuff when I'm driving. The RCMP, which is the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, which would maybe be the FBI, right? There's a way they get a mirror where it looks like they're calling from the RCMP. And of course, I guarantee you, if you call that number back to do their survey about vaccinations, they're A, going to ask you for your social security number, or B, ask you for Bitcoin or gift cards.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
Of course, the National Center of Disease Control would never do.
Of course, right. I didn't consider that it being a scam, because I just saw it. The caller ID comes through as CDC from Atlanta, Georgia, and I was like, "Fuck this," and that's where it kind of how did the government get my phone number, kind of thing, and why are they reaching out to me?
Yeah,
and I never thought about it. It could be a scam. You bring up a good point.
100%. Just from what you presented, and normally you're the IT guy, but I've been hearing these stories because these cyber attackers are like if these cyber attackers would put themselves in a more positive position, they could probably cure cancer. But they don't.
Right. They're all just worried about getting their money. They don't care about.
You should Google it. Say Center of Disease Control phone scam. It's obvious. It's not just you.
Oh no, I 100% didn't think it was just me, but it just caught me off guard. Where, like, a lot of the scams, even they come through on the phone, it comes through as an unknown number. Sometimes it comes up on my phone, scam likely.
Yeah.
This came through as CDC, Centers for Disease Control. And I was like, what the fuck is going? Why would they have my phone number? Like, how far of an overreach is the government actually doing where they're getting private citizens' phone numbers and contacting them? And why would T-Mobile as my carrier? Why would T-Mobile just voluntarily hand over my phone number?
Well, I think they've got a full team. Well, you're an IT guy. You're constantly rebuilding your firewall and your against like I'm looking at emails. They legitimately look like they're from someone in the company
Mm-hmm.
or from a legitimate business. And you look at it and then you kind of click on it and go, oh, no, it's a different email. Or, they teach you all that shit.
Right. Yep.
And I just think this is another stage where I don't know. I don't have the answers. So don't quote me. But they're saying there's a way they can like capture like the center of disease control and mirror it to their phones.
That's very interesting. I really didn't even consider that, but you do bring up a very good point. It's very possible a scam. And I wasn't calling back either way. Regardless of whether it's a scam or not, I ain't fucking calling you back. Fuck you.
I'd be curious. I'd call the number, but the phone don't work no more on the audio. And I haven't figured that out yet. But I'd be curious, like if you called to hear what the conversation was, and you can always explain a little bit, right? Like, have you been vaccinated? Yes, I have. Yeah. Okay, can I have your vaccination record, which probably has a lot of personal information?
Right.
Again, just what I do? I make things up.
It's a very, very valid point, and I never even considered it. I just looked at it and was like, what the fuck? I immediately went to, and I don't believe in conspiracy theories. I think they're all stupid and pointless. I immediately went there, though. It was like, what the fuck is the government doing? What kind of reach do they have that they're getting my phone number and contacting me?
It's like that. We've mentioned it before. I can never remember the name. That Dustin Hoffman movie where the monkeys brought the disease. Outbreak. Yeah, great movie. Another great movie.
That was an awesome movie.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I'm wearing a Doc Holliday shirt. You also sent me one from Tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to get to Tombstone. I watched Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer.
Oh my! That's not Young Guns, is it?
No. The one about the OK Corral with the Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp, and I can't remember the name of the movie now, and I just watched it.
Wasn't it called Tombstone?
Tombstone, that was it.
Yeah.
And to show you how much I probably tortured my wife over the years, we were rehearsing it better than we could rehearse the 10 Commandments or Wizard of Oz. We knew every line they were going to say. That's a movie I've probably seen 400 times.
Right. I know you were very excited when I was making my trip out there and I told you I was going to Tombstone. You immediately wanted a Doc Holliday t-shirt.
Freaking love Doc Holliday.
You didn't even take a step to think about it. You were like immediately, can you get me a Doc Holliday shirt?
I have always, and I said to my wife again, I know you got New Orleans on the bucket list, and I know the cousin likes us to come down to Fort Myers and visit, and that's like not too expensive of a trip. It's just the flight and buying some meals and stuff. But I really, really, really want to go to Tombstone, the OK Corral. Doc Holliday's grave is there. I need to. I know I've got souvenirs from Big B, but I really, really, really want to go there. And then, of course, if I go that far and I don't stop in and see Mike, in surprise, I'll be in big shit.
It's a distance between Mike and Tombstone. It is a distance, let me tell you. But yeah, it's and if you ever get to Tombstone, obviously it's touristy. Everybody's there looking around and stuff. But they have some cool shit there. We didn't go. I think we were on our way back from Bisbee, which is like near the Mexican border. and a lot of gemstone. My wife wanted to go to Bisbee for gemstones and mining and all that stuff. We were on our way back up, so we kind of tired. We went into Tombstone, hung around for a little while. We went to the OK Corral, but didn't go in. We didn't see the show. I think the show was like an hour later, and we were all just tired. So we're like, fuck it, we're not going to see the show. We'll just wander around a little bit, get some food, and then we're going to leave. But that's one thing.
Saw it.
Yeah, we were there. We were.
That is hallowed ground. That's like wherever King Arthur's sword is in that damn stone. Like you saw it. Like
right.
That's all I want to do. I just want to go on hallowed ground. I'm not a fan. I guess I am a fan, but
I it was really cool because then you have you can get on the horse and buggy rides and around the little couple of blocks of Tombstone. And it's really cool. Like we didn't do the rides, but you can do that, or you can just wander around and all. And it was a cool place. If you go to Tombstone, you have to go to the printing press.
Okay,
that's where I got you that newspaper. I think I sent you a newspaper as well. So that's an active working newspaper since those times. And the guy gives you a tour of what you can. It's one room. It's like, hey, this is it, and he tells you about it and stuff like that, which was really cool. And then you could buy the newspapers and stuff, but you have to go see it because they have a secondary room where everything's glassed off with the stuff from from those times, the antique printers and all of this, and it is really cool to see.
Now, did you go to the graveyard, Johnny Ringo and
no, we went past it, but we didn't go in it. Like I said, we were at that point we were really tired. We just got some food. It was literally 110 degrees out, so we were tired. We were sweating. It was kind of like, all right, let's just wander around a little bit. We'll get some souvenirs, and then we're gonna head back because I still had another 2 hours or so back to the Airbnb house that we were renting in Phoenix. So it was still a while.
So it's a pretty big state.
Oh, I drove within the state. I calculated it. I drove the equivalent of driving from New York City to Kansas within Arizona. For those, I was there for 4 days. I drove the equivalent from New York to Kansas. It was like 1,100 something miles, because you got to drive a couple hours north to go to the Grand Canyon. Then you're driving a couple hours south to go to the border. And then you're driving other places in between that take a long time to go. So it is a large state. Obviously not as big as Texas or California, but there's a lot to see, but it's spread out where it is.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see half of it. We were just in the western part of the state. I didn't even see half of the whole eastern side of it. We never got to.
Very cool. All right, we deserve a break. And when we take a break, we're going to jump into, speaking of Arizona, to Mike Reads the News. A very popular segment on the show, and updates us on some stuff that maybe we don't talk about. Here we go.
And now, Cave Crew Radio presents Mike Reads the News with Mike Jolitz.
Hello, everyone. Hello to you, DK, and hello, Sir Big B. Kia ora, guten tag, and konnichiwa, bitches. It is now time for Mike Reads the News. There's a full beaver moon Monday morning. I heard there was a runway, though, and not a full bush. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is returning to the movie theaters for a limited time, December 3rd and the 6th out here. Yes. CDs are going the way of the dodo bird at Best Buy in 2024. It's kind of sad. I like CDs. I'm old school. Shane McGowan of the Pogues died. He was 65. His last words were Pogue Mahone. That's Gaelic for kiss my ass. Filming of Beetlejuice 2 wrapped up. Sweet. I want to see that for sure. Just hope it doesn't suck. Mark Cuban sold his majority stake of the Dallas Mavericks for over $3 billion. He paid under $300 million for the team. That's a nice return on investment. And finally in the news, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Alright, you guys, that does it for the news. And it is now time for the tidbits.
They're not headlines, they're just little tiny pieces of shit. Meow.
Marty Krofft died last weekend.
Oh no.
Sid Krofft is still with us, though.
Oh yeah.
Margie at work announced that she got her some afternoon delight on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
And finally, in the tidbits, the horror version of Winnie the Pooh is available in stores now.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, guys, that does it for the news. That does it for the tidbits. I am out of here. I will have more fun for you guys next week. Later, choose ciao and auf Wiedersehen. Bye-bye.
Always a treat. If we could cover as much news as he does in a minute, we would never leave things on the cutting room floor. Are you there?
Yeah. I always mute myself and I have to take myself off mute. Can I say that originally I said, I was talking to Stu when the Shane McGowan news broke, and I was apparently wrong. He said he thought he had him on his list. I said, no, he did have Shane McGowan on the death list for 2023.
All right. We do apologize. I don't know if you're still out there, Stu. It's getting even later, but you are going to win some Cave Crew Radio stickers. If Mike Jolitz isn't already.
He had Ellen DeGeneres, Shane McGowan, and Tiger Woods. So obviously Shane McGowan passed. He was correct.
Wow. Was he sick? I wonder.
I don't. He said. What did he say? Hold on, I have it here. He said, did I have Shane McGowan on the 2023 death list? He looked a picture of health, kind of sarcastically. Yeah. And I said, no, originally he wasn't. I didn't think he was on the list. I didn't look at, but usually I have these things memorized. Well,
Stu is still here.
He is still there.
We do also, as you mentioned to me, have some other Choo Choo Stu breaking news.
Mm-hmm.
And he has gone away from the half Christmas tree, which was like polarizing to us for so many years. But like the more I decorate my tree, I hope it's not the Center for Disease Control. Shorts I had him too, Stu is saying, and Big B's on a call. But I would think to myself, like, the back of this tree is absolutely useless. And I even remember telling my wife one time, we should probably get a half a tree. It makes sense. Well, Choo Choo Stu and his wife and family now have apparently gone away from the half a tree. And they now have a full LED tree, which I was telling you on the pre-show. We have one now, too. It was our first time putting it up because we got it on sale when Christmas was over. And they're really cool. You just pluff the tree, and the lights are there, and you put ornaments if you want, but... And it looks good, but
see, I just and Stu, yes, Stu, you are correct. Short side did have Shane McGowan as well.
We don't even know if Short Side is still alive.
And if he is, we need to have his address so we can send him some stickers. But yes, so he sent me a picture of the. He said he's no longer has the half tree. He sent me the picture of the full tree in the box. I haven't seen it set up or anything like that.
I don't think they've set it up yet. But I got to my wife and I said, oh, you got that new tree. Because the old one was a pain in the ass, right? Like you had to plug in the branches and He says it's still in the box. But I got my wife when we were out for American Thanksgiving, and she put it up, and it was like bang, 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 and you press this button. I finally think I have it figured out, and it does all this different stuff. She likes white lights. I like colored lights. It'll do a fucking shit show to throw you into a seizure if you want. But they're very cool, and they're very easy, and they're very convenient for a new busy world. Did I tell you last week when I woke up what I found?
No, what?
Okay, we're not getting anywhere with the show, but it doesn't matter. We just do what we want to do. So I wake up in the morning. I'm always a little tired, and you know me. I'm fucking blind in one eye. And I look at, she's got the tree up. Really, really cool. And I see this round circle. It looks like one of those Christmas ornaments that are made out of wood.
Okay.
And it's got B. Oh, no.
It's got what?
A B, like just a B on it.
The letter B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't match any of the dogs. Any brothers or sisters?
Is she making an ornament for me?
Wait a minute. So I go and I turn on the coffee maker.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back. This is how fucking tired I was. I see A. So there's 3 circles on the tree, which initially to me looked like ornaments. And it was basically A, B, C, top, middle, bottom.
Oh, okay.
But I'm looking at this freaking B for about, it seemed like 5 minutes. It probably wasn't that long. And I'm like, B. And why did she only hang 3 ornaments? That's why you need your coffee in the morning, ladies and gentlemen.
And you need to see out of both eyes.
And you need to see out of both eyes. So, but I mean, when I first wake up, I need to have a coffee. I need, you know how it is, shake the sleep out of your head and stuff. And
Sure.
I was just really excited the tree was up. I'm like, oh, this is a nice tree. I got to fluff the branches a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But then that bee caught my eye.
See, it would have been great if it was for me. Like I had a special ornament in the DK household.
I'll see if she kept it. Oh, and then here's the best part, though. So she wakes up, and I go, I got to tell you this really funny story, hon. And I tell her about it, and she goes, no. That's and I'm like, yeah, I caught on to that now. And then she says to me, do you think I should leave them there? And I'm like, the top is obviously the top. The middle is obviously the middle. And the bottom is the widest part of all. Right. And if between us we cannot figure that out, we need to be put in a home.
And does yours, like I have the exact same thing. I have a pre-lit tree, 3 sections. You snap one into the other. But mine has a stand built into it. So like you fold the legs out and it'll so if your bottom has that, obviously that's the bottom because that's with the stand. Now I will say this, when you have a pre-lit tree, like we had one for a number of years. What's up, Mike? We had one for a number of years and we had to get a new one last year because the year before our old one, half of the lights didn't work anymore. So when you have a pre-lit tree,
you can't replace light bulbs.
You can't replace them. So when you have a pre-lit tree and you plug it in and only half the lights work, it kind of sucks. So you have to go buy a new one. So last year we bought a new one. But just, anybody out there that buys pre-lit trees, keep in mind, eventually the lights are going to die. You can't replace them. You got to buy a new tree.
It's like, Big B, come on. I got this 90-inch or whatever it is TV upstairs now that I love, and it's HD, and it's got everything, Roku, you name it. A, it's as light as a feather. B, it is the price of a 25-inch TV 20 years ago.
Yep.
you're probably gonna. I have replaced TVs, dishwashers, microwaves. You know, we joke about that old fridge in Mom's basement, right? Like it's from the old metal door and and it comes with those metal ice cube makers and stuff like that. Those things, that thing was still working when we sold the house. Nothing's like that anymore.
I had in my grandmother's house towards the end, like I was living in there towards the end, kind of taking care of her. She had a refrigerator from the 50s that was still running. That was her refrigerator. It was still running, and it was still running really, really well.
Yeah.
They don't make anything like that.
We've replaced dryers, we replaced furnaces, we replaced air conditioners, we replaced dishwashers, microwaves. Nothing's built. TVs like crazy, but they're so cheap. Like Black Friday, you get a 50-inch TV for like $299. It's like,
well, up in our bedroom, I think it's maybe a 50 or 55-inch TV up in our bedroom, and it's a Panasonic. So it's like it's a name brand. It's not one of these cheap, no name, Hisense things. But right in the middle of the screen on the top, it's starting to darken. Like the pixels are starting to die almost in there. So it's like, and we haven't had the TV for that long. Maybe, I don't know, less than 10 years. We've had the TV, and it's starting to darken right in the middle of the screen at the very top. You're like, this TV's dying. We're going to keep it for as long as it stays alive.
yeah. The other thing it does is, like you watch certain shows and like a news show or a sports show, and they constantly have, like we have above us, something on the screen, and eventually you start to see those lines across the screen very subtly.
Yep.
Yeah, but I don't care. I'll buy the cheap. RCA is cheap now. So is Sharp. Like they used to be really good names, but they're all cheap now. I'll buy the cheap one. If I get 2-3 years out of it, I'll buy another one. Hell, I never dreamed I'd have a 90-inch TV in my living room.
When I was a kid, we had I don't even know how big it was, maybe a 25-inch, less probably, a Zenith. You remember Zenith, right?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
And that lasted my entire childhood, until the time when, my mother decided, not that the TV was broken, but that she decided she wanted to get like the thin TVs, as she would put it,
Yeah.
And things were becoming HD. Obviously, the old Zenith tube TVs, they weren't HD. So as things started to become,
they were tubes. There was nothing there to burn the screen out.
Right. It's called the CRT TV.
Yeah.
And they were tube TVs, and they had this huge back to it, right? Because that's where all the tubes were. And they were heavy as fuck.
Oh yeah. We had a 35-inch TV, which was like gold down here in the basement. And it took 3 of us to bring it down here. Like when we started cleaning out, I think it was pre-COVID, but it might have been COVID. I literally smashed it until all that was left is a tube. And it still took Jake and I to carry it out the door.
Right. They weighed like
holy crap.
I had
20-inch TV, which now you can kind of like flip around like a basketball. They were heavy.
I had, when I was a kid, my very first TV in my own room, like my personal TV, was, maybe a 13-inch or 10-inch, whatever it is, a really small black and white television. It wasn't even color. It was a black, like you still had that option to buy black and white TVs. And that's what I had. I had a black and white TV in my room, that was very small, and it had the rabbit ears because we didn't have cable. And you'd watch, like, I'd watch wrestling on Channel 9 on like a Friday night, and I'd watch The Missing Link come down the aisle in glorious black and white to
I
fight
have
George
seen
the Animal
Missing
Steel.
Link live.
Huh?
I seen the Missing Link live.
Did you really?
Oh, dude, when I used to go to Cobo Hall, which is there, but they don't do anything there anymore.
And that's in Detroit for those.
It's in Detroit. Yeah, that was the closest place, and we used to go to wrestling all the time because now you know everything that's happening in wrestling because there's all these shows, and there's all these articles and leaks and stuff like that. But you would go to Cobo Hall, even Joe Louis Arena back in the day. They have those big lights out. They wouldn't have pyro. They'd have those big lights hanging down. You could see the smoke.
Right.
Because you're allowed to smoke cigarettes inside the arenas and stuff. And they come out at like just before the end or just before the main event. And ladies and gentlemen, you're the first to know since you're here live tonight. We want to let you know about the main event on October 25th, live here at Cobo Hall. It's going to be Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan's coming back versus Kamala.
Oh my God! Yeah.
I used to. I can't even be bothered to go anymore. I like if I'm bored, I tune into wrestling. I still kind of follow it. You know, CM Punk's back in WWE after 10 years. I still kind of follow it, but nowhere near what I used to want to go to every single live wrestling event there was.
Well,
my favorite one, still to this day, was when NWA, this is all before cable, NWA was never on local TV. That was like something they did in the South.
Yep.
And I got to see Starrcade.
Oh,
it was like Christmas, Road Warriors, Ric Flair, Sting, only the guy you read about in the magazines, right? Those were the days. I mean, it's great we get to see this much on TV now, but the mystery and the anticipation and all that crap, it was
so
they're missing.
So I have the Peacock Network.
Yeah.
Now, for those of you who don't know what the Peacock Network is, basically all of NBC on a streaming platform, right? Everybody has their own streaming platform now.
Yeah.
Peacock Network is one of them. I got it so I can watch Live PD. But also on the Peacock Network, now there used to be the WWF streaming or the WWE, whatever it was.
Yeah.
You could buy that separately. You have that for as a streaming thing. They merged with Peacock. So all of that content now is over on Peacock. So part of, I can see that now as part of my subscription. So what I do is they have this thing called WWF Old School.
I love
it. And they show, it's like 2 to 3 hours an episode.
Yeah.
And it's all old cards from the Garden, from Boston Gardens, from the Cobo Hall, all these old school from like 1983, 1984. I have it on there when the Iron Sheik beat Bob Backlund for the title, and then a month later Hulk Hogan beat the Iron Sheik for the title. Those are all on that.
Those were the days. Now, Bob Backlund was in pretty good shape, but I mean, Hulk Hogan was probably the only guy that was like a muscle. They were fat and they were out of shape, but could they move?
They could move. King Kong Bundy, was like, give me 1 second. Hold on.
Yeah. Big B's on 24/7 call, ladies and gentlemen, which you got to respect. I'm on call also. I haven't got a call yet. Touch wood. But anyway, wrestling back in the day. So we're not going to get to everything tonight. So what I'm going to propose to Big B once he gets back. It looks like he's almost done. Nope, not yet. He's got to call Tokyo. They got a server down. That's the thing. He works from home, ladies and gentlemen, but he's in IT, and things can break at any time. At any time. So what I'm going to propose, we're down to the final. It's going to be really hard to make a show name tonight because we haven't really done any stories. I think we should just do the news.
Okay.
And Mike's Sports Minute.
So let me say this. When I was reading the news, and I don't know where these came from, I wrote down 2 show names.
Oh, excellent.
Like on Tuesday, when I was reading these stories that you sent on Tuesday, yeah. I wrote down 2 show names because they hit me immediately. I said, I don't want to forget them. Let me write them down now. So I have 2 show names available.
We'll get to these. I think there's only 3 stories. 4. We'll try to get to them all. And then Talking FLA, we can throw in to be recycled, which makes it easier for next week. And we'll probably do a Christmas Talking FLA special show before we head into the deadline. And then we do have a very special segment from Mike Jolitz that you may not know of, but we know of. So we got to get to that as well. So let's
what are we doing
go.
First? Hold on. So I got to get to the news. So
yeah, just the news. Hang on, I'll fill you in a second here. Let me
yeah, I got to get to it, so give me a minute.
Let me cue us up. Well, I can bullshit.
Okay.
Behind the headlines this week in Weird News.
Yeah, weird news this week, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry we got a little bit off track, but this is probably going to need a special sound effect in a minute. But there appears to be a new challenge out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Here it is. Okay.
The picture says, the picture paints 1,000 words. Yeah, stupid is, stupid does. We like to talk about the past and black and white TVs and all the fun we've had.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't wait to hear the story of this.
Yes, you've all heard of the Tide Pod Challenge, the whatever other Ice Bucket Challenge.
Ice Bucket Challenge. Hot Pepper Challenge.
And I always say that I can't, I believe this is natural selection. And I still believe that with this one. This first story of the night comes from The Independent from the UK. Headline reads, #condom challenge. People drop water-filled condoms on their heads in new viral craze. From the Ice Bucket Challenge.
There's better uses for condoms, ladies and gentlemen.
No. Please, let these people use the condoms this way. And let them suffocate and drown doing this. Natural selection. They don't need condoms to stop them.
I mean, real quick, like back to this picture. You know, that kid looks in pretty good shape. She looks like a pretty hot gal. Different things you can do with condoms on a Friday night.
My only hope is it ends in a hearse.
I know you are Satan himself.
From the Ice Bucket Challenge to the Kylie Jenner lip challenge, viral trends have taken the internet by storm. I don't know what the Kylie Jenner.
That's when they use something to suck their lips out, and they'd be like swelled and.
Because all these idiots do the duck lip thing. Yeah, okay.
Yes, kind of like that, and then the fucking lips are permanently disformed.
Got it. Okay. Viral trends have taken the what the fuck is this? You gotta give me a minute. Stupid fucking pop-ups.
You got to get yourself a computer monitor that you do the stories on.
Oh, God. There we go. Okay. Viral trends have taken the internet by storm, and now an online craze is inundating social media. The condom challenge, which is water-filled condoms, are dropped onto people's heads, leading to a phenomenon dubbed fishbowl face. Is the latest stunt to sweep the online world. The craze reportedly began in Japan. Who would have thunk it? With a video uploaded in mid-November entitled Japanese Condom Head Challenge.
We joke a lot about Florida, but I think internationally, Japan is a close second.
Japan is the Florida of the international world.
Yeah. And it's such a modern country.
When supposedly done correctly, the condom forms a globe of water around the person's head and pops when touched. The original video currently has over 260,000 views on YouTube and has spawned a flood of imitations on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat.
Oh, we're missing our favorite.
It's not listed. The craze even has its own Twitter account and hashtag condom challenge, and echoes a previous craze from 2013 in which people posted videos of themselves pulling condoms from their noses.
Oh, I think we covered that. I think we covered that at one point.
We probably did. The reason behind the trend is unclear. However, some are suggesting it is promoting safe sex. However, the craze has sparked safety concerns and warnings of suffocation when in some cases the latex becomes wrapped around people's faces, cutting off their air supply. I am all for this. This is called natural selection.
Remember that brand, because that's the one that's not going to snap when you're wearing a Jimmy into battle.
Which one?
The one that suffocates you.
It doesn't say the brand.
Extend the pressure, you're not going to snap, and you're not going to have a miscue.
But it doesn't say the brand. So I'm
not saying the brand. I'm saying if that happens to you, that's the one you got to buy when you wear the Jimmy into battle.
If that happens to you and you're engaging in this challenge and it wraps itself around your head and you're losing air supply, just keep it on because it'll pop eventually. Let natural selection take its course.
Okay.
Despite this, many seem willing to brave suffocation. Good. Please continue to try to brave suffocation. As comments about the challenge on social media have risen into the tens of thousands in a matter of days. One, I've done it. Check my hair, LOL. I actually kind of suffocated. I wish you fully kind of suffocated. And that's it. That's the end of the story.
It's... And we realize, folks, we've been doing this for quite a while, and we were probably not young men when we started. Our kids were much younger. Some were not even born yet. But we were still older, and we still had our memories of our youth. But the older we get, ladies and gentlemen, I am the get off my fucking lawn guy. I am Archie Bunker. These people... There's so many other things you can do. But look, even when we went to school, we wanted to be popular, right? Of course you wanted to be popular. But we weren't doing this kind of shit to get attention. You might shove a firecracker up your ass or...
I will say... Not that I'm anything special because I'm not. But when I went to school, I never wanted to be popular, but I was a jock and I ran track, but I was also a metalhead and played in a band. So I was friends with everybody. And it wasn't like, I was trying to get everybody's attention. It's just the circles I was with because I was with all the sports kids for a while when I'm at practice and when I'm doing stuff on the weekends at the events. And then, I'm playing music and doing other stuff with the other kids. So I knew a lot of people, and it wasn't like, I'm trying to be popular. I wasn't. None of us would ever do anything as dumb as this fucking thing.
Right. And I was the same way with hockey. You had your puck bunnies and, your buddies you did stuff with, and look, I don't know. I don't know why people do half the shit they do anymore, but it keeps us relevant.
I guess being popular is not worth dying, but if you want to try, I hope it works out that you wind up 6 feet under.
Now, our next story is from Disneyland, which is not the one in Florida. Folks, Florida will come probably next week. If I know you've never been to Disneyland or Disney World, but let me tell you something about this ride. It's about touring around the country, and of course you've heard the song, It's a Small World.
Of course.
Right. In every little country, there's little munchkins, there's Eskimos, there's China people, there's Indians, there's white people, whatever, are all, singing this song as you cruise around in this slow boat. This one is another one of all the places you want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the Super Bowl, Times Square. It's a small world, ladies and gentlemen.
The next story comes from NBC4, which is NBCLosAngeles.com. Headline reads, man arrested after removing clothes on Disneyland's It's a Small World ride. A 26-year-old man was arrested Sunday after he removed his clothes on the It's a Small World attraction at Disneyland. Video from a guest on the ride showed the man wearing only underwear climbing among the mechanical props and scenery.
As you can see here.
The ride's theme music stops and calls for the man to get down, including warnings that he could get hurt, can be heard in the background as guests watched from the ride boats. I don't know what the ride boats are.
So it's like, you've been to amusement parks before. We've talked about this. The little boats that ride in a circle that you take like a 4-year-old on?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In the water. It's basically like that. You're maybe 12 people in a boat, and you're going in this big circle, and you're going around the world as they sing, It's a Small World.
Got it.
Again, never have I seen anything like this. I am never fortunate enough to be the one that catches this shit on video.
Well, another user posted a video of the man naked outside the ride before he was taken into custody. Anaheim police responded at about 1:30 p.m. Sunday to help security with a guest who removed his clothes. The man was arrested on suspicion of indecent exposure and for being under the influence of a controlled substance. It was not immediately clear where the man was taken into custody at the Anaheim theme park. He was taken to a hospital as a precaution. The ride was temporarily shut down for inspection. The ride was created for the 1964-65 New York World's Fair and shipped to Disneyland, where it opened in May 1966. 1966.
1966. So all the way back to the World's Fair. Do they even do that anymore? I remember that when I was a kid, too.
The World's Fair, no.
Yeah.
And if you remember, I think it was last week, I was talking about the what is known as America's first serial killer was in the Chicago World's Fair in the 18 whatever it was. I don't remember the year.
It's funny how things tied together. Anyway, another fucking douchebag. 1:00 on a Sunday afternoon. What am I going to do? I'm going to strip and sit in the middle of these fucking dolls.
Right. You could almost kind of, if it was a Friday evening or Saturday evening, you're kind of like, all right, maybe he had a few too many to drink, leading up to it. And this is what he did because he thought it was funny. This is a Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. There is something wrong with you.
I mean, it kind of reminds me when I was a kid, right? Like, what's the worst thing that could happen on a Friday night and you're driving with your drunk buddy? Watch this.
Oh, God, yeah.
Fuck me. I'm coming, Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm.
Second chance to win a sticker, ladies and gentlemen. If you remember that show, cavecrewradio@gmail.com.
I'm coming, Elizabeth. This is the big one. What
Yep.
show is that? You will win a sticker.
Yep. cavecrewradio@gmail.com. Now we're going to go to a story. We're actually making good time here. We're catching up good. Now we're going to go to a story of a porn star. She's kind of a chunky porn star, but for each their own. Anyway, and her pet snake.
She got big boobies. Yeah. The next story comes from canoe.com.
Oh, a Canadian paper.
Is it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's the division of the Sun, which is Calgary. Toronto,
I was going to say the Toronto Sun.
Yeah.
The headline reads, "Ouch! Porn star's pet python bites partner's penis."
This has got to be. Oops, sorry, I hit the wrong one. This has got to be the ultimate menage de trois.
Well,
how come I'm having such a hard time with the solo?
There you go. This likely wasn't part of the script, but an Australian porn star named Danny DeBello told followers on social media about a recent incident involving her giant pet snake and her male scene partner. Yes, it's as horrific as you...
This is during a porno film.
Well, this is afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's as horrific as you might have guessed. Her partner was attacked in the nether region.
What a polite way of putting it.
Quote, "I want to introduce you to Betty. She's my centrillion carpet python. She's about 8 foot long. I've never had an issue with her biting or anything until today," the blonde beauty said in a recent Instagram video that shows the snake wrapped around her neck.
Well, I don't mean to interject because I know you're on a roll here, but it thought it saw another snake. What do dogs do when they see strange dogs, right? You know, like it's what happens in the wild. The penis is basically a snake.
Yeah. DeBello and a pal had just filmed some sexy content together when things turned, well, the opposite of sexy. Hold, I'm writing something down.
Yeah, you go right ahead, because I'm wondering now, ladies and gentlemen, if this is available on Pornhub. We got to start a brand new channel where we actually just show videos, kind of like the Cave Crew Radio Live PD.
Oh, I like that.
Where we're showing videos. We'd have to mute constantly, but it could be a lot of fun. It could be like a little spin-off.
Quote, "So earlier I had a friend over and we shot a video. Once we were finished doing that, he jumped in the shower, but he did mention he wanted to hold my pet snake afterward." DeBello came out of the shower and placed the snake around her friend's neck before heading into the bathroom. As she walked away, she was startled by what she described as a massive scream. Quote, "I've turned around and seen that Betty is holding on to his private parts and he's tried to pull her off of it. Oh my God." After a few minutes, we got her off. And I put her back into her enclosure and there was blood everywhere. So we cleaned all that up.
What is one thing you know about constrictor snakes?
They constrict.
They constrict, but they're also they're not easy to get off.
That is true. But they're not really known for biting because they constrict. They're constrictors. Now, I had a constrictor one time. I remember years ago, my mother was working for a chiropractor. She was like the front office receptionist. And one of the patients had come in, and I was at the office because my back is fucked up anyway, so I was getting a treatment. And one of the patients came in, and they had she had a constrictor with her, and I'm not afraid of snakes. I don't care. I like snakes.
No,
So I'm
I like
oh,
them too, but I wouldn't handle one naked.
well, no, neither would I. But I was like, oh, let me. Can I see the snake? She's like, yeah. She brought it out. She put it on my arm. I was like, oh, the snake is. I was petting the snake and all that, and the snake is slowly wrapping herself around my arm, and then started to squeeze. I said, Miss, uh, the snake is starting to squeeze my arm, and it's now starting to hurt. So she quickly got the snake off my arm, um, but and that was only after a few seconds. I can't imagine. They said after a few minutes.
This might be an obvious question, but why was she bringing a snake with her into the chiropractor? Was this like one of those emotionally supportive?
No, this was in the 90s, long before safe spaces and whatever. I don't know why. I honestly don't know why. She had it in a bag, and I was like, "Oh, let me check it out." And the lady was very nice. She
that
at it
to
and all
begin
that.
with is strange to me.
I never questioned it. I was just like, "Cool, it's a nice looking snake. Can I hold it?" That was all that was on my mind. I never questioned like, "Why do you have it?" But anyway.
But I did like the animal shows and shit with the kid when he was little. And I'd wrap the yellow boa around my neck and stuff, and they do. They kind of squeeze. They never choke me out or anything, but
right. That's what constrictors do. They generally don't bite, and that once unless they're obviously feeding on something. Maybe the snake was feeding on his dick.
I'm telling you, looked like dinner.
Well, after pulling the snake off his penis,
has Johnsonville brats.
After pulling the snake off his penis, she checked to make sure there were no little teeth left in it. God. Because pythons sometimes leave their teeth in things after biting them. Can you imagine this dude just fucked this chick for a video, and they're getting cleaned off, and now the snake comes in, there may be snake teeth stuck in his dick.
Could you imagine explaining that to the clinic or the emergency room?
Well, let me tell you, that's where the story ends. So they don't say that they called an ambulance, they went to the hospital, they went to a clinic. They just said they cleaned up the blood and looked for teeth in his dick.
And what they do after that? Netflix and chill, perhaps.
Perhaps. I don't know if there were stitches involved or anything like that. I have no idea.
His penis could now be like at a 45-degree angle.
Ooh, they have commercials for that. It's called Peyronie's disease.
That I have not heard of.
Yes, they have those, like the drug commercials, do you suffer from, rash? Well, take this pill because it could, the side effects are orbital bleeding, anal fissures, and death,
Yeah. So some of it is Peyronie's disease.
Peyronie's disease.
Peyronie's disease. Imagine the poor guy that got that named after him.
Like Lou Gehrig's disease, but different?
Yeah, like, what, like you're talking about popularity. Think of some of the things that have gone the other way. What's your name? I'm the great, great, great grandson of Francis Peroni. Oh, what's so significant about that? His penis went straight up in the air and then across to the west.
Across to the west.
Peyronie's disease. Anyway, we digress. This one is also kind of sexual, as Big B always ties things together. And as you can see, it's going to be about an eyeball.
Well, there's a specific reason why I put this last. And I wanted to preface this before I read the story. Anyone that has listened to this show, and even the show last week, I think I went, although 2 weeks ago, I like to wish things on people. I wish
You do.
Odd diseases on odd body parts of people I don't like, and bot flies in the eyes, and lower intestine explosions and things like that.
Yep.
So the reason I put this last is because this is something new for me to use.
Yes. And once we get into this, ladies and gentlemen, you understand. There's no reason a snake should be biting a penis, and there's no reason this should be happening to an eye.
Correct.
Other parts of the body, I understand, even the mouth, but I can't wait to hear why it happens to the eye.
The final story of the night comes from arstechnica.com. Headline reads, 5 women get eye syphilis.
Eye syphilis, ladies and gentlemen.
From the same man.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will be using this in a future rant that I wish somebody to get eye syphilis.
This will be around forever. When I saw this, I was thinking the same as you, bot flies in the eye. I hope your eyes swell over with mucus. I hope you get jabbed in the eye with 1,000 needles. You have never wished syphilis of the eye. And I believe that's how Al Capone died. I'm not sure if it was that or gonorrhea, but syphilis is deadly.
Well, here's a gripping conversation starter to bring up over your family's Thanksgiving feast this year.
Well, go over what?
Health officials in Michigan have identified an alarming cluster of syphilis infections in women's eyes. The first of its kind cluster in 5 women, all linked to one infected man, raises the possibility that a new strain of syphilis bacteria has adapted to more easily cause systemic syphilis, particularly disease that affects the eyes and central nervous system. A report of the cluster and what it might mean is published today by Michigan health officials in the Centers for Disease Control. There's the CDC again.
You see, they're back again.
Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. They have a weekly report, ladies and gentlemen, called Morbidity and Mortality. Eye syphilis, a.k.a. ocular syphilis. I love that.
Ooh, ocular syphilis.
I love that. Is not new, apparently. Syphilis bacteria, Trepomena pallidum, formerly Spirochecta pallidea, are known to be able to spread to the eye, as well as the inner ear and central nervous system when the sexually transmitted infection is left untreated. This spread can lead to blindness, deafness, and life-threatening neurosyphilis if it remains untreated. I have a question for you. You are blind in one eye. Have you syphilis?
I have not syphilis. I have a question for you. Is this through penetration and it just spreads out the body? Or is this because, they took a pearl necklace and the guy misshot and landed in the eye?
This is penetration and it went throughout the body.
See, what I was thinking is the guy was finishing off.
I was kind of thinking that too until I read it.
Trying to do a pearl necklace and then a little
eye.
Little jizz got in the eye, and it's kind of like food poisoning or something.
It's food poisoning of the eye.
Yes.
But ocular syphilis is rare. It's only found in about 1% of syphilis cases, similar to inner ear and neurosyphilis, according to a large analysis published last year. When ocular syphilis does develop, it's most often seen in people who have late-stage syphilis, people who are 65 years of age or older, people who report injection drug use, and those who are HIV positive.
So, is this a Florida story? No, it's Michigan. I was going to say, it sounds like something in the villages. A bunch of seniors going around gangbanging. They're at the age where they are, prone to this version of syphilis.
In this cluster, the 5 women All had early stage infections. They were between 40 and 60, so not enough for the villages. And none reported injection drug use. The ocular syphilis cluster is also the first one documented as being linked by heterosexual transmission.
Can you imagine getting that call? You know, like the doctor will always call you back after tests and go, look, you got to come in. Your blood pressure's high, your thyroid shot, you know, whatever. We need to talk to you. Why? You have syphilis. Oh, so I got to go on antibiotics. Yeah, but you have eye syphilis.
Ocular syphilis.
Ocular syphilis.
The string of cases began to unravel in March 2022 when the first woman, patient A, was referred to the Kalamazoo County Health and Community Services Department by an ophthalmologist. The woman reported blurry vision, fear of blindness, and genitalia lesions. Testing indicated syphilis, and she reported only one sex partner in the past 12 months, a man she met online. Within a few days, the state health department reached out to the man, but was rebuffed. Weeks later, in April 2022, patient B was admitted to a hospital with neurosyphilis. An ophthalmologist has identified cranial nerve abnormalities and had sent her to the emergency department. There, she reported a headache.
This is like the Jane Doe of syphilis.
Well, this is like
B.
This is like outbreak. You referenced outbreak.
Patient
zero is patient A. She then reported a headache, mild hearing loss, blurry vision, and double vision. She named the same recent sex partner reported by patient A, saying she too met him online. In May of 2022, patient C reported to a local health department in Southwest Michigan. She had a full body rash, floaters in her eyes, sensitivity to light, and cranial nerve abnormalities. She again reported
he must have shot a big load into her.
She again reported the same partner as patient A and B, and she had met him online.
This should be an episode of 2020 or Dateline or something.
Patient D was diagnosed with ocular syphilis in June 2022, again naming the same partner. And in July 2022, patient E was admitted to the hospital with ocular syphilis and neurosyphilis, again naming the same partner as the other cases.
Is this guy still alive? Like, or is he just like the carrier?
Yeah, I guess he would be the carrier. From March to May, state health officials reached out to the common male sex partner multiple times, but he provided little information. Said he had left the state and he was a no-show for a scheduled medical appointment in April. In May, after patient C was identified, a public health doctor looked up the man's electronic medical records, discovering that in January of 2022, he had gone to the hospital emergency department for an ulcerative genital and anal lesions. At the time, he was treated
Plays both ways, this guy.
At the time, he was treated for a presumed herpes infection, but his herpes test was negative, and he was not tested for syphilis. Also,
this is how this shit happens, Big B. Is now this guy's a traveling road show.
That's right. Also in May, a state disease intervention specialist was able to renew contact with the man. He showed up for an appointment at the KCHCSD, whatever. I said it earlier. I don't know what it is. In the appointment, doctors noted that the man had no signs of syphilis, no vision problems, nor hearing impairment. Laboratory testing confirmed he had early latent syphilis, a stage of disease that occurs within a year of initial infection. When symptoms appear to resolve, but the disease is still present, the man reported having multiple sex partners in the previous year, but declined to disclose their identities. Patients B through E also reported having other sex partners. Of those who were identified, health officials reported negative syphilis tests for them. Patient E did not identify her other partners, and officials were not able to contact them.
This
Given
could
the
be
odd nature,
Roman numerals. It's like patient VII.
Given the odd nature of the cluster, health officials in Michigan speculated that the man may have been infected with a strain of T. Palladium. That's like a fucking club in the 70s here.
Yeah.
In the 80s. That is more prone to causing ocular and neurosyphilis than others, but they weren't able to identify the strain. Genetic testing for syphilis works best when they are primary ulcers or moist lesions. Hold while I write things down.
This is, you've heard of syphilis and the dangers of things like gonorrhea, chlamydia, herpes, which was mentioned in the story. But I am glad that I'm married and I have not syphilis.
I have not syphilis either.
Yeah.
Only patient A had primary stage syphilis with genital lesions at the time of diagnosis, and the story goes on. I'm not reading the rest of it.
Yeah, you'd think if you had genital lesions, you'd catch on that something's not just right.
Right.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our big story of the week. We should start calling the last story. We should get a thing. It's now time for the big story.
Oh, yes. And again, ladies and gentlemen, I put that last because I wish various things on people. Syphilis will be my new thing.
Yeah, it's a great thing. Now, listen, we do have a special treat, and this won't take long. I know we're starting to grow over here, but before we go into naming the show, and next week's Talking FLA, and in a few weeks is the Christmas special, and right after that's the year-end awards. Lots of big things before we go into Back for More in 24, which we'll have some new segments and lots of fun. But this is from a show you may not have heard of. This is from Pucks and Pints. And Mike Jolitz had a segment on that show called The Sports Minute. And he said to me, do you mind what do you think if I do a Sports Minute? I said, I think that'd be awesome. I said, you're a little bit ahead of me because I was actually thinking ahead to next season, thinking there's a few little segments I was thinking of incorporated where we bring in like one sports story or, something. I'll share that with you later. He jumped ahead of me, but I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get the anticipation going. So here's a segment from a show we used to do called Pucks and Pints, ladies and gentlemen. It's Sports in a Minute.
Now it's time for Sports Minute with Mike Jolitz.
Yes. Thank you, DK. It is indeed now time for the Sports Minute. NCAA football wrapped up the season. My Badgers ended up at 7-5. Not great, but DK's Buckeyes had 11-1 record to finish second to Michigan. The Montreal Alouettes upset the Winnipeg Blue Bombers to win the Grey Cup last week. I was rooting for Winnipeg. Chris Collinsworth wasn't in the broadcast booth on Sunday night. If I had known he wouldn't be there, I might have watched. Congrats to Lincoln Howard, who won the family bocce tournament. He was always good at his ball handling skills, though. Frank Reich was fired by the Panthers. The Colts fired him last year. He's the first coach in the NFL to be fired in consecutive years. And finally, in the Sports Minute, the hapless Chicago Bears defeated the Minnesota Vikings on Monday night. Josh Dobbs threw 4 interceptions.
The Bears still suck.
All righty, guys, that does it for the Sports Minute. I'm going to send you back over to DK and Sir Big B.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. A fun, quick segment we used to have, and maybe it's returning. Who knows?
I would love it if it returned.
So wait and see. I've got a few ideas I'm going to run by you, but it was a little early. He got to me first. It was like the great Cosmado or something reading my mind. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're running tight on time here, so we're going to go to name the show. I don't want to forget that very important part. I don't know. You had big ones. You've got saved for us. So I'm assuming you're going to steal my thunder this week after, I think it was on like a 2 or a 3 week run that I was nailing it. But I just wrote down a few, maybe a show note. Betty is holding on to his private parts.
There you go. Betty the snake.
I wrote down right at the beginning, Marty the Moose.
Mm-hmm.
You never know what's going to come up. I also wrote down from that same segment, cream to the cacao.
Cream de cacao.
Yeah, cream to the cow. As Big B may steal the line from the other, I might just yell out every once in a while, cream to the cow. Then I wrote down, I don't even remember how this came, but I got it written down, fishbowl face.
Mm-hmm.
And then my last one, ladies and gentlemen, is ocular syphilis.
There you go.
Well, you started with 2 that you told me about, and you had to write a few more things down. So you must have 5.
I have 4.
4, okay.
First up, I have, which could be a show note, maybe. It's called The Opposite of Sexy.
Oh, where did that come from?
I don't remember where that came from, but it was in there. It was The Opposite of Sexy. I think that was in the snake story.
Oh, okay. Probably, yeah.
So part of the 2 that I wrote down, you actually have because we actually read the story. Fishbowl face.
Yeah, I love that one.
That's a good one.
That's got to be from the condom one.
Yes, that's the condom one.
Okay, yeah.
Next one from, I believe the story we just read, moist lesions.
Oh, yes, very good. How do you spell lesions?
I don't have it open, and I have no idea.
I'll figure. Oh, you're usually very good at. I'll spell check it.
And my final one is, I wrote it down. We didn't use the story this week.
Oh,
but I still like the name. It comes from a story that I guess maybe we'll do next week. Maybe we'll never do it. Don't take my dildo.
But we're going to do that one.
We may or may not. So I'm entering, don't take my dildo.
As the show name.
As the show name.
All right, I can live with that. I do like fishbowl face. So.
I had fishbowl face as well. From those, the don't take my dildo and fishbowl face was the 2 I wrote down like on Tuesday. Yeah. So we could easily, if you want to save "Don't Take My Dildo," we could easily do fishbowl face.
Because we're going to do Talking FLA. I'll grab some more stories, and we'll probably do one of those Talking FLA things. I think we should go fishbowl face.
We could absolutely go fishbowl face
because it pertains to this week. Mm-hmm. Whereas "Don't Take My Dildo" is a teaser, and you're going to love that story.
You absolutely will.
You're going to love that story. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to wrap it up here. I, of course, have to use the facilities after this much time on the air and get some sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully everyone has a great weekend. I hope you have some fun stuff planned. Yeah, we had some fun tonight. We got a little bit derailed, but I think we educated you on a lot of pop culture from years ago.
Yes.
Which we like to do occasionally. Maybe that's another segment we could do. It could be like this day in history, and we could tell something about, when we were growing up.
Back in my day.
Yeah, back in my day. I like that. Write that down. Bring that to me in the new year. Back in my day. I like it. Because as long as we've been around and as long as things remain the same, which is good because the things that remain the same are obviously working. It's nice to have a little bit of change of scenery now and then.
I have it written down. Back in my day, for a segment.
I like that. I like that. And just a little, it could be a toy, it could be a thing, whatever. It could be anything that's from back in my day.
That's right. That today's youth have no idea what to do with.
No idea. And we'll have pictures and stories, and I love it.
Works for me.
And maybe that will make us go viral.
Ooh, look at that.
You never know. You never know. All right, kids. Until next week, it's been great hanging out with you. And we appreciate you being here and listening to us babble and have some beers. And some, what was it again? Marty the Mooses.
Marty the Moose.
Yeah.
Marty Moose.
Yeah. I got to go back. I don't remember that. But
You got to watch. First, you got to watch Vacation, and then watch Christmas Vacation to understand the glass.
I've seen both several times. It doesn't ring a bell. But sometimes things go over my head. All right, kids, we'll see you next time. Be good.
Later.
I want you to pack up and get out.
Get the hell out of here!
Go! Just go! Get out! Get the hell out!
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
They say, Donald Trump, an intellectual. Trust me, I'm like a smart person.